Sonia Miller, and welcome back to my daily vlog, my video log. How is your day treating you out there? Are you having a great one? Has it been a good one? We got a project today. This is gonna be a paint tutorial. Yesterday here on the vlog, I got my scrapbooking kit of the month in, but there was one page in particular that I was like, oh, all right. It just looked and felt like, you know, just a montage of vintage papers. So I am going to show you guys today how to do a really cool tutorial with pretty old papers or pretty vintage style papers, whether they're old or new, but they just kind of look like this. Well, you can also use papers like this. If you've been following my vlog, this was a bunch of papers, authentic old papers that I received, music notes and things like that. And when you see that sort of style paper anywhere, this is gonna be a fun technique. And you can do it on furniture, you can do it on signs for backgrounds, you can do it on, for example, I could do it on the back of my door here, I could do it on walls, all that sort of stuff, okay? Like when you're creating that distressed effect. All right, I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer, put the camera down, and we're gonna work into my mixed media journal today, which is a great place. So for me, sometimes when I'm trying out different techniques, I wanna see different color combos, I love to work in my journal. At the end of the day, I love to put photos on top of those dried paint finish samples as well, and turn it into kind of like a collective junk book. The fun. All right, let the therapy begin. First, I like to lay down a little bit of parchment paper. This is our candy bar brown. I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bit on there and begin to roll it around the pages before it sets up. This is, of course, our chalky style paint. Sticks to pretty much anything under the sun. I love brown, especially if you love antique effects. So I get a little bit out of my can onto my paper. I'm going to take my brayer right here. I will link it down below as well. And now let's go ahead and basically roll on, baby, some candy bar brown all over our project, okay? Or in this case, it's gonna be my journal. So I don't want to completely cover it with brown paint, but again, I just want that old tarnished look. I'm gonna go ahead, since it couldn't fit in here, and just take a little bit of my finger and fill in that little center part right there. So because we put a thin layer down, it's gonna dry real quick. Guys, if I said it once, I'm gonna tell you again, as a co-creator, designer of this paint with me and my husband, of course, that I love shabby, whimsical, and I love vintage, right? So our paint is designed with texture. It's amazing for these sorts of old time worn looks. It dries to a flat, matte, vintagey feel. And already, do you see just how old it looks? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use this paper from the scrapbookingstore.com. Remember, if you want, you can use my code JUNKMONKEY10 if you wanna be in the club. Get a delivery, a Happy Mail delivery every single month. If you use JUNKMONKEY10 at checkout, you'll save 10% off your order. And I think the scrapbooking kits start somewhere around like $11. So I don't need a whole lot to start pinning stuff down. By pinning stuff down, I mean grab your Mod Podge. Remember, Mod Podge is a glue and a sealer. So let's go ahead. And I think the paper on the back of this is pretty darn cool as well. Put that down. Oh yeah, baby. The tattered torn paper feel just goes with this vibe that I am putting out there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my vintage paper here, my music note paper. You guys saw that my neighbor, she actually does clean outs for people who are just decluttering, getting rid of stuff, that sort of thing. And she is so kind because she'll call and be like, or she'll message and be like, do you want these? So by now she kind of knows what I love. I love all the junk. Give it to Sonia, she'll take anything. We've got to let any Mod Podge on this dry, and then we'll go ahead and get into the next step. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab for my vintage white. And again, just look how beautiful that is. Oh, love it, love it, love it. The texture of our paint is awesome for what I'm about to do. So I love these plastic putty knives right here, okay? I've gotten a bunch of these at my local Dollar General store. Think about, like, if you ever seen a brick wall that has exposed brick coming through. Well, instead of exposed brick, we're gonna do exposed vintage papers. And you wanna go different ways with your putty knife. It'll create all kinds of really cool old textures. So don't be afraid to go every which way. You cannot mess this up. This is just all about fun, and like I said, that creativity, right? So you could go with a black if you want, but I'm gonna keep it a little bit more tattered, torn, keep it in the brown sort of. I love that. Do you see how, like, right there? Let me add a little bit more over here. I'm not putting a lot of paint on it. Instead, I'm moving the paint that's on my paper around. It's fading out some of those papers. It's just making all kinds of texture. So here is the difference. Let me show you up close. So this is a white tattered torn look that I'm doing, right? So you can put whatever color you want. This is, of course, going to dry as well. But do you see here? Like, can you see? I gotta stand up to see this with you. Right here, just this beautiful, oh my goodness gracious, so pretty. Like when you bring your putty knife over it, now I can go ahead and pick up a little bit more, but I'm gonna come in close so you guys can really see. Start to spread it around, just like you're kind of like frosting a cupcake. You know what I'm saying? But do you see what I'm saying? Like, doing a wall like this would be amazing. The charm it has. How pretty is this? Guys, I'm gonna call this my old world charm plaster wall look. Isn't it beautiful? So obviously this is a smaller area and I chose to bring in a lot of paper, but remember, you don't have to bring in as much paper as I did. That's totally up to you. Can you imagine a gorgeous Paris themed room that had one accent wall and behind the bed this was the wall? And so that's why I love that putty knife, and the color, the brown that we had there, which is a nice warm brown, just comes through so well. These are lighter papers compared to more tarnished papers, so you can see the look that it gives you. It's by using that consistency of paint that dries to that nice flat matte vintage style that makes it so easy to work with. So I'm gonna let this dry. What I would do now is just keep my book open. I will be back again tomorrow. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And also hit the little bell. It alerts you every single time that I do another video upload just like this one. Leave me a comment below. Will you try this effect? And what would you call it? How would you describe it? Give me some words to help describe it below. See you tomorrow. Go out there and go bananas and get creative, will ya?